What if the first words you say tomorrow decide who you become a year from now? Not your circumstances, not your past, just your voice, before the world even speaks. Most people don't realize it, but the second you wake up, your mind is wide open, like wet cement. Whatever you pour into it will set the tone for the day, the week, your direction. That's not poetry, that's power, and most people waste it. They grab their phone, they scroll, they react, and by the time they take a breath, the day is already owning them. But you're here because something inside you is done living on autopilot. You're ready to take back control, not just of your mornings, but of your momentum. And it all starts with a decision. What are you going to tell yourself when you wake up? Right now, you might feel stuck. Maybe you're waking up exhausted, not just physically, but emotionally. You might be questioning your purpose. You might be dragging the weight of yesterday into today. And deep down, you know you were meant for more than this cycle of stress, doubt, and silent disappointment. But change doesn't begin with a massive overhaul. It starts with one powerful choice, repeated daily until your belief becomes your reality. And the first place that change begins is in the mirror, with the words you whisper when no one's listening. You see, the mind believes what it hears most often, and the first voice it hears every day is yours. That's not something to take lightly. That's your tool. That's your trigger. When you speak strength into yourself each morning, you're not just reciting words, you're building identity. Identity shapes behavior. Behavior shapes results. And results, repeated, shape your future. It's not about fake positivity. It's about choosing truth over fear, power over paralysis, intention over habit. If you give yourself just a few focused minutes every morning to speak life into your direction, you'll start noticing something shift. The fear won't vanish, but it'll feel smaller. The noise won't stop, but it won't drown you. Because you'll have something louder, a voice inside you that knows where it's going. And that voice needs to become your leader, not your critic. Stay with me until the end, because what I'm about to share can change how you meet each day. These are 24 to 4 powerful things to tell yourself every morning. Not long lists, not fluff, just 4 core truths each day for 6 days straight, designed to rewire your thoughts, reset your focus, and recharge your spirit. And by day 7, you won't just feel better. You'll move different, you'll speak different. You'll show up like someone who finally knows they're not here to survive the day. They're here to own it. So don't look away. Don't say I'll start tomorrow. You've already started. Right here, right now. This is your moment. Let's make sure your mornings start speaking the life you were always meant to live. Say this the moment you open your eyes. I am in control of my day. Let it hit deeper than words. Let it become a command. Because no matter what's waiting for you, deadlines, pressure, chaos, you still have one undeniable power. The power to choose your mindset. You decide how you respond. You decide what gets your energy. You decide who you become by the end of this day. That's not wishful thinking. That's ownership. And it starts the second you stop giving your power away to circumstances that don't define you. Too often we let the world dictate how we feel. A message, a mistake, a mood. We absorb it like it owns us. But what if today you flipped the script? What if instead of reacting, you started creating? Because when you say I am in control, you interrupt the autopilot. You take the wheel back from the noise. And in that moment, you rise above the emotional gravity that pulls most people down before they've even left their bed. Your mind listens to what you say, with more influence than anything else. If you feed it doubt, it shrinks. If you feed it power, it expands. Every day is a battlefield of focus, and most people lose before they even begin, simply because they've forgotten they have a choice. But you're not here to drift. You're here to drive. And driving starts with direction. So when you declare I am in control of my day, you're not just repeating words, you're building a mental filter. You're programming your awareness to spot opportunities instead of obstacles, strength instead of stress, possibility instead of panic. That mindset doesn't just feel good, it produces results. You walk into your tasks with presence. You respond instead of react. You choose discipline over distraction. And little by little, your days stop slipping by. They start stacking. Progress builds. Confidence returns. And what once felt like chaos starts to look like clarity, because you stopped letting the day decide who you are. This isn't about controlling everything. Life will still throw punches. Things will still go wrong. But when your foundation is strong, you don't shatter. You adapt. You don't shrink. You pivot. And that kind of strength doesn't come from the outside. It's built every morning with decisions like this. So before the noise creeps in, before the pressure builds, before the world starts tugging at your attention, say it again. Say it with your chest. I am in control of my day. Because you are. You're not a victim of routine. You're not a slave to circumstance. You're the author, the driver, the force. Start from that truth, and the rest of the day won't own you. You'll own it. And every time you repeat those words, you write the first sentence of a better story, one where you finally lead your life instead of watching it pass by. Say this out loud. I'm not who I was yesterday. Let it echo in your mind like a truth you've waited too long to believe. Because you're not. You're not the mistakes you made. You're not the fear you felt. You're not the version of yourself that doubted, delayed, or disappeared when life got heavy. That version of you existed, yes, but they are not here now. The moment you woke up today, you were given something powerful, a new identity, shaped not by the past, but by the choices you make now. And the first choice is to stop dragging yesterday's weight into today's freedom. Too often, we chain ourselves to who we used to be. We replay our regrets. We rehearse our failures. We wear shame like skin, as if we're only allowed to rise once we've earned it. But growth doesn't ask for permission. It begins the moment you stop arguing for your limits and start standing for your evolution. You are not fixed. You are not frozen in time. You are fluid, alive, becoming, and that's your power. Because if you are not who you were, then anything is possible from this moment forward. Say it again. I'm not who I was yesterday. Let it wash over the parts of you that still ache from what you didn't do. Let it reach into the corners where doubt hides. That one line holds more freedom than 1,000 apologies. Because you don't need to explain your change. You only need to live it. And every time you repeat those words, you create distance from the identity that held you back. That voice in your head that says you're still the same, it's lying. Every breath, every second, every decision is proof that you are becoming someone new. Transformation isn't loud. It's not fireworks or finish lines. It's quiet. It's built in private moments like this. When you choose to believe in your growth even when no one sees it yet. Especially when no one sees it yet. Because that's when it counts. That's when it's real. You're allowed to outgrow people, patterns, habits, and even your own old self. You're allowed to change. You're allowed to be proud of it. And no one gets to define your progress but you. So stop measuring who you are now by the lowest points of who you've been. You've already paid the price for those lessons. The only question left is what you're going to do with the strength they left behind. Look in the mirror today, not to judge, but to recognize who's standing there. Someone wiser, someone stronger, someone who is choosing right now to rise. Say it until it becomes instinct, until it drowns out every lie. I'm not who I was yesterday. And because of that, today doesn't have to look like yesterday. It can look like change. It can look like healing. It can look like the beginning you've been waiting for. Say this with conviction. I deserve to be here. Let it settle in your chest, not as a question, but as a truth that no longer needs validation. You've spent too long waiting for permission, too long apologizing for your presence, your voice, your dreams. But today, you stop shrinking. You stop questioning your worth. Because the simple fact that you woke up today, that your heart is still beating, is all the proof you need. You belong here. Not because you're perfect, not because you have it all figured out, but because you are human, breathing, trying, and that's enough. There's a voice that creeps in when you start to grow. The one that says, who do you think you are? That voice isn't truth. It's fear. It's the echo of old wounds, of environments that tried to make you feel small so others could feel comfortable. But you're not here to make yourself smaller to fit into broken spaces. You're here to expand, to claim the space that's been waiting for you, and to walk through life with your head held high, not because of arrogance, but because of self-respect. Too many people stay silent when they should speak, sit when they should rise, hesitate when they should move, not because they lack the ability, but because they question their right. You are not one of them, not anymore. When you tell yourself I deserve to be here, you're not just affirming your place, you're declaring war on every lie that told you otherwise. You're taking back the narrative, the one that says you're worthy, not because of what you've done, but because of who you are. You were not created to live on the sidelines of your own life. You were not designed to tiptoe through your days hoping not to be noticed. You were made to show up, to speak truth, to make impact. And that starts when you stop disqualifying yourself in your own mind. Every time you silence your potential with doubt, you rob the world of something only you can offer. And the truth is, no one else can do what you came here to do. No one else carries your story, your scars, your strength. That makes you irreplaceable. Look around. This life, this moment, it's yours, not by accident, not by luck, but by design. So take up space, breathe deeper, stand taller, speak louder. You are not an outsider in your own journey, you are the center of it. And the second you own that, everything begins to shift. Say it again. Say it until it drowns out every hesitation. I deserve to be here. In this room. In this life. In this dream. You don't have to earn that truth. You only have to stop denying it. You belong. And it's time you started acting like it. Say it slowly and believe it deeply. My work has purpose, even if I can't see it yet. Let those words hold you when the results don't show, when the effort feels invisible, when the steps forward seem too small to matter, because they do matter. Every decision you make to show up, even when no one claps, even when no one sees, it builds something greater than you know. Not every seed shows its growth above the surface. Some are doing their hardest work in the dark, taking root before they ever rise. And your effort, right now, is doing exactly that. You don't have to see the whole picture for your piece to be meaningful. You don't have to know the final outcome to be valuable. Purpose is not proven by applause. It's revealed in persistence, in doing the hard things without shortcuts, in giving your best when it feels like it's going unnoticed. The truth is, anything built to last is built in silence first. The foundation always comes before the spotlight. And just because you're not where you want to be doesn't mean you're lost. It means you're still building. And that's sacred. There are days when doubt will whisper that what you're doing doesn't matter, that it's all pointless, that no one cares. But that's when you dig in deeper. That's when you remember why you started. That's when you speak this truth to yourself and don't let go of it. My work has purpose, even if I can't see it yet. Because greatness isn't created when it's easy. It's created when it's lonely, when no one believes in it but you, when the results don't match the effort, and yet, you keep going anyway. You don't owe the world proof. You owe it your integrity. To keep showing up with heart, to keep pushing through the fog. Because behind every breakthrough is a series of moments where you could have quit but didn't. And every one of those moments is shaping you into someone unshakable. Someone who knows that fulfillment isn't found in being seen. It's found in becoming who you are meant to be. You're not just working on goals. You're working on yourself. You're becoming more focused, more disciplined, more grounded. And that growth is never wasted, even when it's quiet. Especially when it's quiet. Because that's where real strength is born, not in noise but in clarity. In choosing to believe that what you're doing matters, even when the finish line is nowhere in sight. So breathe, reset, and remind yourself one more time, my work has purpose, even if I can't see it yet. Your effort is not lost. It's not forgotten. It's building something deeper than success. It's building legacy. And one day you'll look back and realize that every invisible step was carrying you exactly where you were meant to be. Say this with power. Every setback is a setup for a comeback. Let it cut through the disappointment you've been carrying. Let it rise above the voice that told you failure means you're not enough. You've been through hard moments. You've had doors close, plans fall apart, opportunities slip away. But none of that defines you. What defines you is what you do next. The setback isn't the end, it's the invitation. To rise, to rebuild, to return stronger than you were before. And when you truly believe that, nothing can break you, because even the fall becomes part of the rise. You are not broken, you are being rebuilt. Every crack you feel inside is a space being widened for more strength, more wisdom, more resilience. Pain is not a punishment, it's a process. It forges something in you that comfort never could. It teaches you to fight with heart, to get back up with fire, and to never let a single failure have the final word. Failure is feedback. It's direction. It's fuel. The comeback doesn't happen in spite of the setback. It happens because of it. There is power in the moments when everything feels uncertain, because that's when you're being reshaped. That's when your character is being carved out of the chaos. Growth never happens in the easy seasons. It happens when you're stretched, when you're tested, when you're pushed to the edge, and forced to meet a version of yourself you didn't know existed. That version is stronger. That version doesn't just survive, they evolve. And that evolution is what creates the comeback. You can't control everything that happens to you, but you can control how you respond. You can let the loss make you bitter, or you can let it make you better. You can let the pain keep you stuck, or you can let it push you forward. The choice is always yours. And that's where your power lives, in knowing that you still get to decide the meaning of your story. When you say every setback is a setup for a comeback, you're not ignoring the hurt. You're honoring it. You're saying, this won't break me. This will build me. And that shift in perspective changes everything. It turns pain into purpose. It turns delays into preparation. It turns defeat into fuel for something greater. That mindset doesn't just help you endure, it helps you rise. Rise higher than you were before. Rise into a version of yourself who doesn't run from failure but uses it as a stepping stone. Breathe in that truth. Hold it close. Repeat it until it becomes your instinct. Every setback is a setup for a comeback. You haven't lost your chance. You've been given a new one. And this time, you're not starting from scratch. You're starting from experience, from strength, from unshakable determination. This is your moment to turn the setback into the greatest comeback of your life. Say this with certainty. My time is now. Not later, not someday, not when everything is perfect. Now. This very moment. The one you're breathing in right now. It's not waiting for you to feel ready. It's not waiting for fear to disappear. It's waiting for you to decide. Decide that you're done postponing your potential. Done sitting on dreams that were meant to be lived, not just imagined. You've spent enough time standing on the edge of what you could become. Now it's time to step in. To show up. To stop letting hesitation write your story. You're not too late. You're not behind. You're not underqualified. Those are lies created by fear to keep you in comfort. But comfort will never build the life you're here to live. Growth doesn't wait for convenience. It demands courage. And courage doesn't mean you feel fearless. It means you move anyway. So move. Take the step. Start the thing. Speak the truth. Because waiting won't make the fear smaller. Action will. Progress will. And when you claim this truth, my time is now, you release yourself from the trap of waiting for the perfect moment that will never come. This is not just about goals. It's about identity. Every time you delay your dream, you weaken your trust in yourself. You become the person who talks more than they act, who plans more than they move. But that's not who you're meant to be. You're meant to be decisive, aligned, powerful. And power isn't loud. It's consistent. It's the quiet decision to show up today like your future depends on it. Because it does. Stop giving your power to excuses disguised as logic. Stop waiting to feel more confident before you begin. Confidence doesn't come before action. It's earned through it. And the more you delay, the more you reinforce the belief that you're not ready. You are. Not because everything is in place, but because you have the strength to figure it out as you go. That's what winners do. That's what leaders do. That's what your future self is begging you to do. Every second you breathe is borrowed time. And you don't get to control how much of it you have. But you do get to control how you use it. Don't waste another morning letting doubt set the pace. Set your own. Start today like everything is on the line. Because it is. Your peace, your power, your potential. All of it hinges on the moment you finally say, my time is now. Not when I feel like it. Not when I have more. Now. Repeat it until hesitation breaks. Let it echo louder than fear. My time is now. This is the moment you stop waiting and start becoming. Everything changes the second you believe that what you're chasing is already chasing you back. But it can only meet you if you move. And the time to move is now. Say this with honesty and fire. I am worth the effort it takes to change. Let it burn through every excuse, every delay, every moment you convinced yourself you weren't ready. You are not too far gone. You are not too damaged. You are not too late. You are still here. And that means there's still time to rise. Time to shift. Time to become the person you've always known lives inside you. The one who doesn't just wish for change, but works for it. The one who shows up when it's hard, who keeps going when no one claps, who chooses growth again and again. Change isn't supposed to be easy. It's supposed to be real. And real change demands effort, not once, but every day. That's what makes it powerful. That's what makes it last. And when you start to believe you are worth that effort, something inside you shifts. You stop looking at the climb as a burden and start seeing it as a form of self-respect. You stop asking if you have the strength and start realizing that the strength is built in the effort, not before it. You've been taught to chase perfection, to wait until you feel flawless before you begin. But the truth is, change starts with messy steps, imperfect days, frustration, discipline, sweat. That's the path. And your willingness to walk it, even when it's uncomfortable, is proof that you value yourself enough to do hard things. Not to impress others, not to check a box. But because you finally know this, you're not here to coast through life. You're here to evolve, to stretch, to grow into the person your past never believed you could be. You don't need to prove anything to anyone. You only need to prove to yourself that you won't quit this time. That your goals aren't just ideas, they're decisions. And you've decided you're done breaking promises to yourself. Done starting over. Done settling. Now you follow through. Not because it's easy, but because it's right. Because every step forward, no matter how small, is a declaration, I matter enough to change. You're not doing this to become someone else. You're doing it to become more of who you really are, underneath the layers of doubt, fear, and delay. This is not about becoming perfect. It's about becoming aligned, clear, focused, whole. And that journey begins when you finally say yes to the effort, yes to the work, yes to the process, because you're worth it. You always have been. Say it again, louder this time. I am worth the effort it takes to change. Let it break through the old version of you that lived in hesitation. Let it remind you that self-respect is built in the choices no one sees. And the next one you make could be the one that rewrites your future. You're not waiting anymore. You're becoming, because you finally know you're worth it. Say this with full intention. Today, I will keep a promise to myself. Let it cut through the noise of broken resolutions and half-finished plans. Let it become more than just words. Let it become a vow. Because nothing changes you faster than following through, not for others, for yourself. Every time you keep a promise to yourself, you rebuild the trust the world tried to take from you. You send a signal to your mind that you're no longer someone who gives up. You are someone who finishes, who follows through, who respects themselves enough to do what they said they would do, even when it's hard. You've broken promises before. So has everyone. But the most dangerous pattern isn't failure. It's getting used to it. Shrugging off the times you didn't show up. Laughing off the goals you dropped. Pretending it doesn't matter, but it does. Every time you let yourself down, something inside you quiets. That inner fire dims. That belief in your own ability fades. Not because you're weak, but because repetition becomes identity. And if you repeat quitting, you start seeing yourself as someone who always will. But here's the truth. You can break that pattern. Right now. With one small promise kept. Not everything at once. Not a perfect life overnight. Just one honest action that proves to your own mind. You are different now. You are becoming someone you can count on. And that is where self-worth is born. Not in achievements, but in alignment. In matching what you say with what you do. In looking in the mirror and knowing, I trust that person. You don't need motivation. You need integrity. The kind of integrity that shows up even when you're tired, even when it's inconvenient. Even when no one is watching. Especially when no one is watching. That's when it matters most. Because when the voice in your head knows you will keep your word, it stops fighting you. It stops doubting. It stops dragging you backward. It starts supporting you, pushing you, guiding you. Because finally, your actions and your identity are walking in the same direction. You've made promises before. But this one is different. This one is quiet, personal, sacred. A promise not to be perfect, but to be consistent, to be present, to be real. And when you keep it, even in the smallest way, momentum begins. You begin to shift. You begin to believe again. Say it like you mean it. Today, I will keep a promise to myself, even if it's small, even if no one sees it. Especially if no one sees it, because this is how strength is built. This is how trust is rebuilt. One action at a time, one day at a time, one promise at a time. And today, it starts with you. Say this without flinching. Fear means I'm moving forward. Let it hit the part of you that still hesitates. Let it challenge the belief that fear is something to avoid. It's not. It's proof you're on the edge of growth. Proof that you're leaving the safety of comfort and stepping into the unknown where progress lives. Fear isn't failure. It's a signal. And the people who win in life aren't the ones who feel the least fear. They're the ones who move anyway. Who walk into the discomfort. Who stop waiting for the fear to go away and start walking beside it. You've spent too long interpreting fear as a warning sign. You've let it convince you to wait, to stop, to shrink. But what if you've been reading it wrong? What if fear is actually the green light, the sign you're stretching, the sign you're evolving? Because the truth is, nothing worth doing comes without resistance. The bigger the dream, the louder the fear, and the more it scares you, the more it matters. You don't overcome fear by fighting it. You overcome it by understanding it, by recognizing that fear only has power when you obey it. But the moment you act in spite of it, it loses control. It becomes background noise. It doesn't disappear. It just gets quieter. And every time you push through, your confidence grows. Not because the fear is gone, but because you prove to yourself that you're stronger than it. The goal isn't to live without fear. It's to stop being led by it. Fear will always show up when you're doing something that matters. That's how you know you're alive. That's how you know you're stepping into something bigger than what you've been. So welcome it. Let it walk with you, but don't hand it the map. You lead. You decide. You move. And you move knowing that the only way to the life you want is straight through the emotions you've been trying to avoid. Let fear be the compass that points toward your next level. Let it remind you that you're not playing small anymore, that you're no longer hiding behind the excuse of timing or readiness or certainty, because you'll never be fully ready. And there will never be a moment that feels perfect. But this one This moment where you choose courage over comfort, that's the one that changes everything. Say it again. Fear means I'm moving forward. Let it become your battle cry when doubt creeps in. Let it anchor you when your heart starts racing. You are not broken because you feel afraid. You are brave because you refuse to let that fear decide your future. Every step forward, no matter how shaky, is still progress. And the more you face the fear, the more you realize it was never as big as it looked. But you are bigger than you think, and you're just getting started. Say this with unwavering belief. I have everything I need inside me. Let it silence the lie that says you're missing something, that you need more time, more talent, more approval before you begin. You don't. You are not lacking. You are not empty. You are equipped, right now. As you are, the strength, the creativity, the clarity, the courage, it's all already in you, maybe buried, maybe quiet, but not absent. And once you stop looking outward for permission and start looking inward for power, everything begins to change. You've been conditioned to search for answers outside yourself, to wait for someone else to show you the way. But no one knows your path like you do. No one feels your fire like you do. And no one else can walk this road for you. That's your responsibility. That's your privilege. The tools you've been searching for have been with you all along. The resilience to keep going, the wisdom to decide, the discipline to follow through. They don't come from the outside. They're built from within. And now is the time to start using them. You're not meant to blend in. You're not meant to play small or second-guess every instinct. You've been given a voice, a vision, a presence that is entirely your own. That's not by accident. That's your gift. And the more you ignore it, the more restless you'll feel. Because your soul knows the truth. It knows you're capable of more than just surviving the day. It knows you were built to rise, to lead, to create something real out of the fire inside you. You don't need to wait to feel ready. You need to move like you already are. Because readiness isn't something you find. It's something you create by showing up again and again, no matter how uncertain you feel. Trust is built through action. Confidence is earned through repetition. You don't have to know every step. You just need to believe that whatever you face, you have the ability to figure it out. That's not arrogance, that's self-belief. And that belief is what will carry you through the challenges that scare you and the moments that test you. When the doubt creeps in, when the pressure gets loud, when it feels like too much, remind yourself of this one truth. I have everything I need inside me. Not someday. Not after you prove yourself. Now. In this very moment. You were not given a dream without the tools to build it. You were not placed here to question your own value. You are more capable than you've ever allowed yourself to believe. And the moment you fully own that, you stop chasing confidence and start building it. One decision, one step, one day at a time. You are not empty. You are not waiting. You are ready. You are enough. And everything you need is already within you. You were not made to repeat yesterday. You were made to evolve, to rise, to become someone stronger, clearer, more powerful than who you were before. Say this to yourself. Every morning, today is a new chance to begin again. Let it cut through the noise of regret. Let it silence the weight of past mistakes. The truth is, you are not the same person you were yesterday, and you don't have to live today through the lens of who you used to be. You are allowed to start fresh. Not because you've forgotten your past, but because you've chosen not to be defined by it. Every sunrise brings you a decision, to stay stuck in the same habits, or to step into something new. That decision is yours, not determined by how perfect yesterday was or how much went wrong. It's determined by your willingness to believe that growth is always available, that change is always possible, that your identity is not fixed. You are not locked into a version of yourself you no longer recognize. You can reinvent, you can release, you can rise. You are not your failures. You are not your missed opportunities. You are not your doubts, your fears, or the opinions of people who never saw your potential. You are possibility. You are the power to choose again. And that is your greatest strength. The ability to wake up and say, no more living on autopilot. No more carrying shame. No more letting fear write my script. Today, you take the pen back. Today, you decide who you are becoming. It doesn't matter how many times you've started and stopped. What matters is that you're still here. You're still trying. You're still standing in front of the mirror saying, there's more in me, and I'm ready to bring it to life. That voice inside you, the one that whispers you're meant for something greater, it's not a fantasy. It's a calling. And every morning, you get another shot to answer it. You are not too late. You are not too far gone. The gap between who you are and who you want to be is not as wide as it feels. It closes every time you make a different choice. Every time you speak truth over yourself instead of limitation. Every time you decide to forgive yourself and move forward. Progress is never about perfection. It's about consistency. It's about showing up even when the doubt screams louder than the dream. Say it with belief. Today is a new chance to begin again. Feel the weight lift. Feel the fire spark. You do not have to drag the past into the present. You are allowed to live lighter, stronger, freer. Let today be the day you stop repeating your history and start writing your future. Let today be the day you remember. You are always one decision away from a brand new direction. The past doesn't hold your power. The future doesn't hold your peace. Say this with clarity and conviction. I let go of what I can't control. Let it sink deep into your spirit. Let it silence the tension in your chest. Let it unchain the anxiety that's been living in your mind. Most of what weighs you down isn't even happening. It's the story you tell yourself about what might go wrong, the what-ifs, the fear of not being enough, the constant need to predict, fix, manage everything. It's exhausting. It steals your presence. It clouds your strength. But you don't have to carry it. You can set it down. Control is an illusion that keeps you stuck. It makes you think that if you worry enough, stress enough, prepare enough, you can avoid pain. But pain isn't the enemy. It's part of growth. Struggle isn't weakness. It's a pathway to strength. You weren't built to micromanage every detail of life. You were built to respond with grace, with grit, with courage, no matter what comes. And the truth is, peace doesn't come from controlling life. It comes from trusting yourself to handle it. You have to stop giving your energy to what's outside your reach, the opinions of others, the outcomes you can't predict, the things that already happened, and the things that haven't even begun. Every second you waste trying to control what you can't is a second you lose from building what you can. And what you can build, your mindset, your attitude, your choices, that's where your power lives. Letting go isn't weakness, it's maturity. It's standing tall in the chaos and saying, I will not be shaken by what I cannot change. You don't have to react to everything. You don't have to fight every battle. Not every challenge deserves your focus. Not every storm deserves your fear. Sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is breathe, pause, and choose peace anyway. That's not giving up. That's taking your power back. You are not defined by how tightly you hold on. You are defined by how bravely you let go. When you release the need to control everything, you make space for clarity. You make space for strength. You make space for the real you to emerge, not the version weighed down by tension, but the version free to live, move, and grow without fear. That's the version that moves forward. That's the version that creates change. That's the version that refuses to be held back by things beyond their hands. Say it again until it becomes real. I let go of what I can't control. Let the chaos pass. Let the fear dissolve. You don't need every answer to take the next step. You just need to trust yourself. And you can. You're still here, still breathing, still strong. That means you have everything you need. Not because life is predictable, but because you are powerful enough to rise, no matter what it brings. You are not your mistakes. Read that again. You are not the decisions you regret. You are not the pain you've caused or the chances you didn't take. You are not defined by failure. What happened yesterday does not have the final word on who you are today. Too often, we chain ourselves to the past. We wear our guilt like armor, thinking it protects us from repeating the same patterns. But all it really does is weigh us down. It silences our potential. It blinds us to what's possible. This is your reminder. I forgive myself because I deserve peace. Forgiveness isn't saying the pain didn't matter. It's not pretending you didn't make mistakes. It's acknowledging that you are human, and that healing begins when you stop punishing yourself. Self-forgiveness isn't a weakness. It's a turning point. It's the quiet decision to stop living in shame and start stepping into growth. When you forgive yourself, you reclaim your inner power. You free up the energy you've been wasting on regret, and you redirect it into building the person you're becoming. There's a voice in your head that whispers you're not enough, that you've failed too many times, that you don't deserve happiness. That voice is a lie. It's fear trying to hold you where you are. But you don't owe your loyalty to fear. You owe it to your future, to the version of you that rises, that learns, that keeps showing up even after the fall. That version of you is still inside, and every time you show yourself compassion, you bring it closer to the surface. Everyone has scars. Everyone has moments they wish they could erase. But the strongest people aren't the ones who never fell. They're the ones who refused to stay down, the ones who looked in the mirror, saw their flaws, and chose to love themselves anyway. That kind of strength doesn't come from pretending. It comes from radical self-acceptance, from the courage to say, yes, I've made mistakes, but I'm not staying there. I'm growing. I'm evolving. I'm rising. Peace is not a destination. It's a choice, a moment-to-moment decision to be kind to yourself. even when it's hard. Even when the past feels louder than your future. Even when the weight of regret tries to crush your hope. You don't have to carry it anymore. You've paid enough. Now it's time to release it. Time to open your hands and let it go. So say it. Say it like you mean it. I forgive myself because I deserve peace. Say it until your heart believes it. Until your breath slows. Until your spirit stands up a little taller. You've lived through enough pain. You've learned what you needed. Now move forward with grace, with courage, with the unshakable knowing that you are worthy, not because you are perfect, but because you are willing to grow. That's real strength. And it lives in you. You are not here by accident. There is something in you that the world needs. Even if you can't see it yet, even if you've been told otherwise, your presence has meaning. You were born with potential. You were born with value. And it's time you start telling yourself, I have a purpose, and I choose to live it fully. Because the truth is, most people don't fail because they're not capable. They fail because they stop believing they matter. But when you wake up each day and remind yourself that your life has purpose, something powerful shifts. You stop chasing approval. You stop waiting for permission. You begin to move differently. You begin to walk with direction. Your purpose doesn't need to be flashy. It doesn't need to impress anyone. Purpose isn't about popularity. It's about alignment. It's about being true to who you are. It's about choosing to live in a way that brings meaning to your moments, depth to your days, and contribution to the people around you. When you live with purpose, even the smallest act becomes significant. Every word you speak, every choice you make, carries energy, and that energy creates impact. You are creating ripples in the world whether you realize it or not, so make them count, make them reflect who you truly are. Living with purpose means you no longer drift, you decide, you commit, you focus, and yes, it requires courage. Because purpose will stretch you, it will challenge your comfort zones, it will call you to step into places that feel unfamiliar. But that's where growth lives. That's where your strength is revealed. You don't have to have all the answers. You just have to keep moving in the direction of what lights something in your soul. That light is your compass. Follow it. Tell yourself every morning, I'm not here to just exist, I'm here to live with intention. Because when you remind yourself of your purpose, you rise differently. You speak differently. You lead with integrity. You let go of distractions that drain your energy and lean into what builds you. Life becomes less about surviving and more about creating. And even when it gets hard, and it will, you won't give up easily. Because when you know why you're here, no obstacle can outlast your drive. Purpose is the anchor that holds you steady when storms come. It's the voice inside that whispers, keep going, when everything feels uncertain, and it's already in you. You don't need to search outside yourself, you just need to remember what's already true. You are here to contribute something real, something honest, something uniquely yours. The world doesn't need more noise. It needs more people who are living on purpose. So don't wait for the perfect moment. Don't wait for clarity to be complete. Begin now, speak it, believe it, own it. I have a purpose, and I choose to live it fully. Say it until you feel it. Then act like it's true. Because it is. Every day you wake up is another chance to rise above who you were yesterday. No matter what has happened, no matter how heavy the past may feel, you are not defined by it. You are not your failures. You are not your mistakes. You are not your pain. You are your ability to rise from it, to learn from it, to become stronger because of it. Every morning tell yourself this truth: I am not my past. I am the power to change my future. Because the moment you truly believe that, you stop living like a prisoner of yesterday and start building the version of yourself you were always meant to become. There is no healing without choice, and every morning you are given that choice. Will you drag your regrets into today, or will you release them and reclaim your strength? You can't rewrite what already happened, but you can rewrite how you respond to it. You can let go of shame, of guilt, of anger that no longer serves you. You can choose to see your scars as signs that you survived. You can choose to turn your pain into power. Growth doesn't ask you to be perfect. It only asks you to be willing. Willing to try again. Willing to show up. Willing to fight for the life that calls to you from deep inside your soul. Letting go of your past doesn't mean forgetting it. It means refusing to let it steal the light of who you can still become. It means waking up and reminding yourself that your story is not over, that each day is a blank page, that you are the author now, and every decision you make is a sentence written toward your redemption, toward your evolution, toward a life that reflects your courage instead of your wounds. The power to change begins in your self-talk. If you wake up every morning dragging the same narrative with you, you will recreate the same results. But when you shift your inner language, you shift your identity. You stop playing small. You stop dimming your light. You stop allowing fear to define your next move. Tell yourself, I am not broken. I am rebuilding. I am not lost. I am learning to navigate. These words are not lies, they are seeds. And when you plant them daily, they take root in your actions, your habits, your mindset. Eventually, they grow into a reality you once thought impossible. Your past doesn't disqualify you. It prepares you. Everything you've endured can be fuel, if you decide it will be. This is your moment to decide. Right now. Let go of what you can't change, and claim what you can. The day is in front of you. You're breathing. You're still here. That means there's more ahead. More progress, more clarity, more healing. More of you waiting to rise. Say it with conviction. I am not my past. I am the power to change my future. Say it, and then live like it's already real. Discipline is the bridge between the person you are and the person you know you can become. It is the decision to do what needs to be done, even when your feelings scream for comfort. It is the power to show up without applause, to work without validation, to grind without reward. Because deep down, you understand that long-term success is not built on bursts of inspiration. It is carved from daily effort. Discipline isn't about perfection, it's about consistency. It's waking up each day with the courage to honor your goals, even when motivation disappears. Because the truth is, motivation will fade, emotion will shift, but discipline remains. Your future doesn't belong to the most talented, the most gifted, or the most lucky. It belongs to the most disciplined. To the one who chooses purpose over impulse. To the one who pushes through discomfort, not because it's easy, but because it's necessary. Every time you do the thing you said you'd do, when it's hard, when it's boring, when no one is watching, you're becoming stronger than who you were yesterday. You're proving to yourself that you are not controlled by circumstance. You are controlled by choice. And when your choices are aligned with your vision, that's when transformation begins. Your habits shape your destiny. Every decision you make is a vote for the kind of person you're becoming. You don't need to overhaul your entire life overnight. You just need to start. One disciplined action at a time. Wake up and move your body. Fuel yourself with what gives you energy. Say no to distractions that steal your time. Say yes to the things that build your character. Over time, these small wins compound. They form an identity built not on excuses, but on execution. And from that identity, confidence grows. Not the fake kind, but the real kind. The kind that's earned through effort, through sweat, through showing up when quitting was easier. Discipline is freedom, the freedom to create a life that reflects your highest potential. The freedom to look in the mirror and respect the person looking back. Because when you live with discipline, you live with integrity. You no longer abandon yourself when things get hard. You don't break promises to yourself. You become someone you can trust, and that trust becomes unshakable. Because you've proven to yourself, over and over, that you can count on you. No one is coming to save you. No one is going to hand you the results you crave. But you don't need a savior. You are capable of building everything you dream of, brick by brick, with the discipline to keep going, even when it's slow, even when it's silent, even when it feels like nothing's changing. Because every step forward is momentum, and momentum, no matter how small, is progress. Discipline is how you claim your future. Show up, follow through, be relentless. You don't rise by accident. You rise by choice. There will come a point when you realize that no one else can want it for you. No one can carry your vision. No one can feel your hunger. That fire has to burn from within you, or it won't burn at all. You can talk about your dreams. You can plan and strategize and visualize. But unless you execute with unshakable commitment, nothing changes. This world doesn't respond to intentions. It responds to action. And not just any action, but relentless, focused, and deliberate action, born from a refusal to settle for less than your full potential. That is the path of the uncommon. That is how you separate from the masses. You are not made to live in cycles of hesitation. You are not created to stay stuck in patterns of almost and someday. Life is calling you to rise, not in grand gestures, but in the quiet decisions you make when no one is watching. Will you keep scrolling or start building? Will you hit snooze or face the morning with purpose? Every choice, no matter how small, is casting a vote for the life you want or the life you tolerate. And the more you choose growth over comfort, the more you reclaim your power. Because power isn't about control over others, it's about control over yourself. You must decide who you are without waiting for permission. No one gets to validate your greatness. No one gets to approve your effort. The moment you stop waiting to be chosen and choose yourself instead, everything shifts. You walk differently. You speak with certainty. You act with direction. And when obstacles appear, You face them not with fear, but with focus. Because you understand now that resistance is not the enemy, it is the signal that you are on the edge of expansion. Growth is uncomfortable for a reason. It's supposed to challenge the parts of you that keep playing small. You have to be willing to feel the discomfort of transformation. You have to endure the moments of isolation, of doubt, of fatigue, and still show up. Not because it's easy, but because it's necessary. That is what separates those who talk from those who build. That is what separates those who wish from those who win. You cannot rise while clinging to your limitations. You cannot soar while feeding the voice that says you can't. Silence that voice with action. Starve your doubt with discipline. Train your mind to believe not in luck, but in your own ability to endure, to rise, to conquer. You are not here to blend in. You are here to break through, to shatter ceilings, to destroy excuses, to become undeniable. This is your time, not tomorrow, not someday. Right now, step into your potential like you were born for it. Because you were. This life is not a rehearsal. It's your opportunity to make every second count. Move like it matters. Because it does. And nothing changes until you do.